Hey, beautiful people. Happy Saturday. Well, for some of you, it's Sunday. Anyways, everything I shared for educational free purposes only. Erika Kirk spoke the other day. I have not had a chance to watch it. I believe it was for Turning Point USA. Now that she's the CEO. And I'm going to watch it with you guys. And then give my commentary on it after I watch it, okay? Hopefully my volume will be great. Hang on. I got you. Let's see. Candace Owens have been giving her a run for her money. So I'm interested to see what she's going to talk about. Where's my video? Here it is. All right. Let me know if you guys can hear it all right. Okay. Erika Kirk speaks at Turning Point USA's annual America Fest. Let's go.
Confidence to stand up and let their voice be heard. No idea what I was doing. No connections, no money. We didn't have an office. We didn't have... We're doing this pure grit, pure energy to ideas and to principles, not the political parties or politicians. We are in a generational battle right now that the stakes could not be higher. And the experiment and the gift that our founding fathers gave to us could be easily lost if we don't make the proper choices, the right course of corrections.
After a lot of people, I'll tell you what.
After Charlie's assassination, we didn't see violence. Instead, we saw what my husband always prayed. We saw revival.
You're going to hear of what Charlie did, but I'm here today to tell you the why in what he did. The why brought him the courage. The why brought him the wisdom and the strength. The why is the one that Charlie wanted to welcome as the guest of honor. The guest of honor, his resume is long. He's the King of Glory. He's the Prince of Peace. He's the Savior of the world. He's the living God. He's the God of all mercy and grace. The total embodiment of love. The total embodiment of truth. And he's here today to call his children back to him.
I know I speak for everyone here today when I say that none of us will ever forget Charlie Kirk.
We speak with Charlie and for Charlie louder than ever. The tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule has just begun.
We should be thankful, not angry, to live in this country. Would you agree? We should be thankful. We should be kissing the ground and say we are the luckiest human beings ever to exist, that we are able to live in this country at this time. And yet, I see that half our country seems upset. They seem angry that they're born in this country. America is the greatest country ever to exist, period, bar none. Is the greatest country ever to exist, right?
150 years of brave Americans have proven those words true.
It does feel as if people are starting to not have pride in the country that they live in right now. I can't disagree with that.
Sacrifice over comfort, duty over self.
I want to honor God in all that I do. I want to be a great husband, a great father. I want to serve this country. I want to try to continue to lead this movement and to speak truth and to never lie. To stop thinking about yourself all the time and instead think about what you should do to help other people and to defend this country above yourself. You still live in the greatest nation ever to exist in the history of the world. There is still so much to be hopeful and to be thankful for. And we have agency.
When truth is under attack, America has always answered with voices that refuse to be silenced. Charlie was one of those voices, and now it's our turn to pick up the mic.
We have only begun to fight.
A lot of this could be done without me, and I believe that. I mean, from the high school department, the college department.
To welcome as the guest of honor. The guest of honor, his resume is long. He's the King of Glory. He's the Prince of Peace. He's the Savior of the world. He's the living God. He's the God of all mercy and grace, the total embodiment of love, the total embodiment of truth. And he's here today to call his children back to him.
I know I speak for everyone here today when I say that none of us will ever forget Charlie Kirk.
You guys don't have to hit the subscribe button, but can y'all double tap the screen for me, please? Rest in peace, Charlie.
We speak with Charlie and for Charlie louder than ever. The tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule has just begun.
We should be thankful, not angry, to live in this country. Would you agree? We should be thankful. We should be kissing the ground and say we are the luckiest human beings ever to exist, that we are able to live in this country at this time. And yet I see that half our country seems upset. They seem angry that they're born in this country.
Shout out to the remix. How you doing, member? I see you. Thank you.
America is the greatest country ever to exist, period, bar none. Is the greatest country ever to exist, right?
250 years of brave Americans have proven those words true. Ordinary people choosing sacrifice over comfort, duty over self.
I want to honor God in all that I do. I want to be a great husband, a great father. I want to serve this country. I want to try to continue to lead this movement and to speak truth and to never lie. To stop thinking about yourself all the time and instead think about what you should do to help other people and to defend this country above yourself. You still live in the greatest nation ever to exist in the history of the world. There is still so much to be hopeful and to be thankful for. We have agency.
When truth is under attack, America has always answered with voices that refuse to be silenced. Charlie was one of those voices, and now it's our turn to pick up the mic.
We have only begun to fight.
Assassinating Charlie Kirk has only made their movement stronger. Some people talked about Erika being stronger now, and she definitely is because she's the CEO of his movement.
A lot of this could be done without me, and I believe that. I mean, from the high school department, the college department, let's make Turning Point so big that it can survive beyond just the founder. A lot of organizations and groups, as soon as a founder leaves, it just kind of collapses. A lot of my job is not always in the day-to-day details. It's very much vision casting, very much driving success. But we have a great board, and God forbid if something happens, they'll figure it out. I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me. Erika would do a great job.
Yes, she's doing a great
You
job.
are the heartbeat of this future and of this movement. Everything that Charlie built, you guys are the legacy holders of that. You are living proof that his mission did not die with him. It lives through you. And Charlie always said the next generation will decide whether freedom endures. Because of you.
And I believe she's the best mom in the world. She is my hero and the love of my life. Join me in welcoming Erika Kirk.
So again, we're going to wing it. So AmFest last year, Charlie reminded me that this was his Super Bowl. And for those of you who are sitting in the back, my husband was very intentional about making sure he was in the back because he wanted to sit in what he considered maybe the worst seat in the arena. And he made it a point to listen to the whole intro video, every speaker video, and he would tell the team, louder, more bass, more noise. He would say, there's a treble and a bass knob, turn the ones.
She looks great. How come you guys don't like her? I think she looks beautiful here.
To make it right. So even if you feel like you're in the worst seat in the house, you're not, because Charlie's sitting one of those. So you're in good company up there. But what's also very interesting is that when Charlie first and the team first came up with, since I don't have a speech, I might as well just walk around. When Charlie first came up with AmFest, he thought to himself, who would not love to celebrate America? So we're going to name it AmFest. And that's what he did. And I'll never forget, last year, we were blessed to have President Trump come and speak. And afterwards, Charlie turns to me,
right back.
starts running. Like, where are you going? He's like, I'm about to go on Air Force One. I'm in heels trying to chase him to figure out what is going on. He goes, okay, so I got to get on Air Force One. I was like, good for you, baby. He's like, okay, so I need you to close out the AmFest, and I need you to do the staff meeting afterwards. And I was like, excuse me? He's like, yeah, you're closing out AmFest. And I was like, I am not closing out AmFest. He's like, yes, you are. And I said, what am I supposed to say? And he goes, you'll figure it out. That's why I married you. I was like, you always say that to me whenever we're in a position where we won't, like, there's no script, there's nothing. He's like, baby, you'll figure it out. That's why I married you. So again, here we are. Right. So now we're opening AmFest. But what's so interesting, and what I have learned so much within these past 3 months, again, the enemy, but he will never win. We know we're on the winning side. God is so good. So Charlie loved to share AmFest stats. So that's what we're going to do really quick. He would love for you guys to know that 80% of the attendees have never attended a TPUSA event before. So thank you for everyone who is new. Welcome home. Turning Point USA is your home, and we're loving that you're here.
Claude, I see you.
1/3 of the attendees are students. 50, yeah. We love our students. 54% are female attendees. Okay. We have 40 breakout sessions, 178 sponsors, all 50 states represented. We have 25 countries represented plus Puerto Rico, but I have the list here. Don't worry, guys. Egypt is not on the list. Don't worry about that.
So she has a sense of humor. She's coming out of her shell a little bit, do you guys think? Again, I don't know what this is about. I'm just watching it.
But, oh, how funny. I say Egypt and my iPad turns on. That's fun. Where were we? Okay. So anyways, the past 3 months I have...
Don't spam my chat because I'll block you, not time you out. Don't spam my chat.
I've learned a lot. You learn very quickly who is ready to go to war with you. You learn very quickly who thinks emotionally versus logically when you go through something as horrible that not only myself went through, but every single one of you in here.
I look bad. This isn't about me, okay? It's about Erika.
Here that loved my husband. You find out who stays with you, who leaves. You find out a lot. You find out who's going to pray with you when there's no words left. And you also learn some unexpected things, like the fact that Joy Reid probably needs a really, really good hug. And honestly, I'm here for it if she needs it. I got a good hug for you. Good hug for you. I'll even touch the back of your head.
Why did that crack me up? I love that outfit.
But I love you guys. But here's what I've learned the most in these past 3 months is that my husband, he deeply mattered on a multitude of levels, so much so that it proved even more once he was assassinated how much of a peacemaker he was and how much of a coalition builder he was. Because when he was assassinated, we saw infighting, we've seen fractures, we've seen bridges being burned that shouldn't be burnt. We saw a lot on full display. And what I knew as a wife, and I'm the same exact way as him. If you are trying to put up fight or flight mode, we're always fight mode. We don't retreat. Charlie would go wherever he needed to go, and I'm the same exact way. Same exact way. And you'll learn that. You'll learn that about me the more that you get to know me. I know I'm new here. But you'll learn. You'll learn. Him and I were not afraid of that. And that's also why the past several months, several weeks, I honored my husband by completing all of his pre-planned fall media tour hits for his book, any commitment he had. I wanted to honor that for him. I wasn't going on a media tour myself. This was for my husband. Because in our household, our word is our bond. And when you give it, you uphold it. So I honored my husband that way. And so what I'm inspired by is the fact that Charlie and I, again, will go wherever we need to go, but so will you. That's why you guys are here. All of you are here because you know that you're sitting saying, I want to do something. So that's why you came here. You came here to meet other people, to know that you're not in this fight alone. You're here for a purpose. God made you for a purpose. Students, raise your hands. Out of those students, drop your hands, put your hand up if you're in high school. Okay, wow. All of you?
They influenced a lot of young people.
I love my high schoolers. Charlie had a very special place in his heart for Club America. He's like, how could you not love Club America? All of you, again, going where you need to go. If your Club America is not set up or you want to set one up, step right into your admin's office. College students, raise your hands. Got a lot of them.
Let us see. They're like high school and college ages.
So where you got to be willing to go is on your campus. That means either starting a chapter, joining a chapter, maybe even one day putting up a tent in the quad. We're not afraid.
Now, I never said if I don't think I said if I was Republican or Democrat, but I am happy that they're teaching young voters about the Republican Party and just, so they can, it's just information.
For churchgoers, hold your pastor accountable for biblical citizenship. Okay? There are so many ways to get involved. That's why Charlie built Turning Point USA the way he did. He didn't care your race, your age, your background. If Charlie listened to every single person that told him, you're too young to make a difference, you don't have enough connections, you're not going to do it, he would have let that noise consume him and he would not have built the machine that he has built today. So don't you dare let anyone tell you you're too young, you're not smart enough, and you're not connected enough. As long as you're a part of Turning Point USA, we will empower you and give whatever you need to be able to make that come to life. Okay?
I think she's doing
Charlie
a fantastic
wasn't just
job.
a speaker. He wasn't just a political thinker. He wasn't just a thought leader. Again, he was a bridge. He was a pathway. He was a connection point to generations. He was a pathway and connection point to communication, to inner politics. And he also looked at a generation that has been mocked, that has been dismissed, that has been discouraged, and told them, you matter. Your ideas matter. Your decisions matter. And he would say this country is still worth defending and still worth sacrificing for. So, like all of you, this is our turning point as well, especially as we move into 2026. And I want to share with you, off this paper, I'm not going to wing it this one because I want all of you guys to absorb the magnitude of these numbers. The number of student requests to get involved since 9/10, 140,000 plus Get Involved requests have been submitted since 9/10. 140,000. Total number of students involved. This is involved within Turning Point USA. 1 million plus students involved in Turning Point USA. Current chapter numbers as of December 18th, 2025. 3,082 Club America chapters. 1,432 college chapters. You don't have enough connections. You're not going to do it as of today. And we are starting 50 chapters per day at Turning Point USA. It's amazing. Something I also love right now is how we are getting some amazing state partnerships with Club America. I want to give a huge shout out to Oklahoma. Oklahoma's in the house. Florida. Okay. Indiana. Texas. Of course. And Tennessee. Another turning point for us for 2026 is the Make Heaven Crowded Tour, something I'm very excited about. For those of you who attended the memorial service, that revival is a slight.
It's kind of funny how many people are commenting on her looks, and if she's for you or not. I don't think she's looking never mind. Think what you want. I don't think she cares.
Of heaven that I'm going to make sure we take around this whole entire country. So we have different tour stops that are going to be coming up that I want you guys to be aware of. Feel free to take a picture whenever they put it up there. But if you're in any of these cities, we're bringing that to you. It's going to be amazing. God is so good. God is so good. I also want to note that our church partnership, since 9/10, we have over 8,000 church partnerships and counting.
Wow, good job.
This one's very special to me. Charlie's love for debate will always be the DNA of Turning Point USA. We believe in debate because we believe in truth, and we believe in civil discourse because we believe that truth can withstand scrutiny. So that is why we will be launching the Pick Up the Mic initiative and getting back on campus for Prove Me Wrongs and campus tour events this spring and fall of 2026. I'm also really excited about everything that we're doing at Turning Point Action. We are locked in and mission focused for both 2026 and 2028. We're investing in states and not just in races. So what I mean by that is we are building the red wall, Arizona, Nevada, New Hampshire. That's going to be very important to us. We're going to ensure that President Trump has Congress for all 4 years. We are going to get my husband's friend, J.D. Vance, elected for 48 in the most resounding way possible. And for our hometown Arizona folks, are you guys in the house? Arizona? Go bigs or go home is where we're at right now mentally. But my husband didn't build this movement so people could feel comfortable. He built this movement so people could feel brave and to be brave with action. So people could see on full display that when you stop talking to people, especially those that you disagree with, you are the one that actually becomes weaker. Let that sink in. So you may not agree with everyone on this stage this weekend, and that's okay. welcome to America. Charlie would have welcomed that. He believed disagreement was something not to be canceled.
Hi, Fred.
It was something to confront with clarity, courage, and grace. And Charlie loved truth way more than conformity. So this weekend for me personally is laced with nostalgia and it's laced with hope. But deeper than that, it's about carrying forward what Charlie built and ultimately what he gave his life for. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. The mission didn't end with Charlie's life.
No.
It's being lived out through each and every one of you in your own way. Again, it doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your race, doesn't matter your background. AmFest is not about echo chambers. It's very important to know that because it's about sharpening one another. It's about digging deeper into ideas instead of retreating into slogans. And it's about remembering that freedom requires responsibility and truth requires courage. So my challenge to you this weekend is very simple.
This is almost over, but can you guys say why you don't like her instead of you just don't like her, you don't like what she looks like? What did she do that was so bad? I don't
just attend AmFest. Let it mark you. Let it stretch you. Let it challenge assumptions, strengthen convictions, and maybe even make you a little uncomfortable, because that's where growth happens, in those moments. Let it be another turning point in your life. Another moment where you decide not to drift, not to disengage, not to give into cynicism, but to stand up boldly, to be brave, to speak clearly, because that is how we are going to honor Charlie. We are going to honor him not just with words, but with action. So with that, welcome to AmFest.
Thank you. I'm going to try to put you guys in a better mood right now, although
God bless you guys.
I can't be with you guys that long tonight because I have a tree to decorate, apparently. But let me try to put you guys in a better mood. Let me see. If I can, hopefully we'll still be friends at the end. Everything I share is for educational purposes only. Oh, let me see if I can find it. I don't know. Where is it? Hang on. Somewhere. Let's see. Maybe I'll put somebody else on that you guys like a lot. Okay. Here we go.
Had a couple of brand new shows opening, and I understand that.
We're not going to finish this
But
one,
I do want to
probably.
say, and some people say, oh, you shouldn't say it. It sounds negative. To me, I think it sounds positive.
This is better.
The only reason our unemployment tucked up and went up to 4.5%, which it went up to 4.5%, which is quite a low number, but still, is because we are reducing the government workforce by numbers that have never been seen before. In other words,
No.
government jobs are way down. And as you know, we don't need 10 people to fill one job, which is what we had in government in many cases. So the government workforce by number.
I would have gotten to your comments in the chat, but I couldn't really see why any of you didn't like Erika. Candace has really been giving her a run for her money with all these conspiracies. Erika asked her to stop. I'll follow it, but, you know, I'll follow it.
That have never been seen before has been reduced very substantially and will continue to be reduced. 100% of our new jobs are in the private sector. So this is for the last number of months. Think of that, 100%. Are you shocked to hear that? That's the way to make America great again. What do you think, right? It's the only way. 100% of new jobs are in the private sector. And I could reduce unemployment to 2%, 1%, or practically zero by just hiring people into the federal government, even though those jobs are not necessary, which is what we had before. We had millions and millions of people having jobs that they never even showed up. So I wish that the media would report that the 4.5% is an amazing number. And again, if they don't report it, I guess maybe I'll just let some people go into the federal workforce. It'll look really wonderful. And what we're doing is the only way you can do it to make a country great. You can't have the government jobs. You have to have the private sector jobs. And these are among the biggest hires of private sector. So we have reduced the federal workforce by tremendous hundreds of thousands of people. And that reflects in unemployment, but that will be used up very quickly. And we've 100% of the new jobs, which, by the way, it's a record-setting number of jobs, too, is in the private sector. And I think that'll get even stronger when these buildings being built all over the country, of which they're building some, too. But AI and auto plants and everything else, they're being built all over the country. When that happens, your numbers will be even better. But I would like you to report it the way it is. We don't do the federal workforce jobs. We're reducing that very substantially. I'm thrilled to be joined by the leaders of 9 of the world's largest pharmaceutical manufacturers, all very big names, celebrities in their own right, very, very powerful people. And they head some of the most admired companies anywhere in the world. It's a great group. To announce that they've agreed to offer many of their flagship drugs, really all of their flagship drugs, at heavily discounted, most favored nations prices. In other words, whatever the drug sells for over the world, in the world, whatever the lowest number is, if it's Germany, if it's in UK, anywhere, we will match that price. Right now, sometimes it's 10 times higher. We've been laughed at and scoffed at for years. In fact, I was going to do it in my first term, but unfortunately, with the advent of COVID, as you would say, it was not, I don't think it was a very good time to be hitting up Spain, Italy, France, but now we're doing it. So the hardest thing to do was going to be to get a country to do it, because we would have a pill in New York that was for sale for $130, and you could buy it in Germany and France and Spain and someplace. Anyways, they set their own prices for $10. So we'd pay 10 or 13 times more, pay 5 times more, pay all different prices. Now, whatever the lowest price is. Now, the pharmaceutical companies were difficult, but they also love our country. They knew it was unfair. And they were great. I appreciate it. But the bigger problem was going to be the countries. How are you going to get the countries to do it? And we told them, if you don't do it, we're going to have to use tariffs, and we're going to charge you a 10% tariff, which is far more money than the money we're talking about. And they immediately agreed to do it. So we have all the foreign countries agreeing to do it. If we didn't have the use of tariffs, we would never be able to do this. But we used tariff, and they said, is it a threat? I said, yes, it is a threat. And they said, we will do it. And they dropped the price. So what's happening, because the world is bigger than the United States in terms of people, that same pill would go from $10 to $20 for them, which is an increase, but it wouldn't go to, midway. But it would go from $10 to $20. Ours would go from $130 to $20. So we dropped way down. They went up a little bit. And everyone knows the way it is. They, for years, would just say, no, it's medicine got more expensive for us. It would stay. They said, nope, you can't sell it in this country. Let the United States pay. And we had other presidents, all of them, said, okay, we'll pay. So we were subsidizing the entire world. We're not doing it anymore. This is the biggest thing having to do with drugs in the history of the purchase of drugs. And I don't think maybe press will treat it as a story. This is the biggest front page story that you'll ever see. This is a huge bearing too on the healthcare, because a big part of healthcare is drugs, pharmaceuticals, right, Oz? And this will have a tremendous impact on the reduction of healthcare. The biggest impact is going to be.
Did he say Oz? I keep forgetting that he's talking to Oz. I got to get used to that.
That the money should be paid not to the insurance companies, directly to the people, and the people will buy their own health care. So we're going to be working that. The problem is that the Democrats are very much controlled by the insurance companies that make all that money, but we're not going to let that happen. Starting next year, American drug prices will come down fast and furious, and will soon be among the lowest in the developed world. So in other words, whatever the lowest price for a certain drug, of which these companies make much of it, whatever the lowest price is, that price will come down to that price. So we will get.
You guys, the United States pay more for medicine and healthcare than any other country. So he's doing the right thing. And I already talked to you guys yesterday about marijuana.
The lowest price anywhere in the world. If they're lower in England than they are in Germany, we take the England price.
Look at my dog.
As of today, 14 out of 17 largest pharmaceutical companies have now agreed. 14 out of 17. Oh, those three companies, they're in deep trouble. But actually, they've agreed because I think those three companies are coming in at a different time next week. So they've agreed. Johnson & Johnson is one of them, right?
After the holidays.
Why? They couldn't do it faster?
No, we're going to be talking about Trump RX.
Oh, okay. Trump RX. Trump RX is doing well. As of today, 14 out of the 17 largest pharmaceutical companies, but they've all agreed, have now agreed to drastically lower drug prices for their American patients, for the American people and patients. This represents the greatest victory for patient affordability in the history of American healthcare by far. And every single American will benefit. So this is the biggest thing ever to happen on drug pricing and on healthcare. This will have a tremendous impact on healthcare itself. I want to thank Sanofi CEO Paul Hudson. Paul? Hi, Paul. I hope they have you in some order. I'll be checking.
Alphabetical, yes. But
Okay, well, we'll do the best we can.
What are y'all
Thank
saying?
you, Paul. Great company, by the way. Novartis CEO Vas Narasimhan.
Hi, Pebble.
Thank you very much, Vas. Great job. Genentech CEO Ashley Meragri. Where are you, Ashley? How are you? Hi. Thank you very much. Great companies. Behringer Inc. President John Michael Bors. John Michael, thank you very much. Gilead CEO Dan O'Day. Yeah. Thank you, Dan. Great job. It's a good company. Bristol Myers Squibb Executive Vice President Carrie Gallman. Carrie? Thank you. Thank you very much. GSK CEO Emma Wormsley. Emma? Thank you very much, Emma. Great job.
No.
Merck CEO Rob Davis. Great company. Thank you. Great company. How long have you been CEO?
almost 5 years.
Very good. You're doing a good job. And Amgen Executive Vice President and CFO Peter Griffith. Peter? Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much. You okay? Fake news.
Thank you for the cash out.
We want you to be healthy. Are you all right?
Funny message with it.
The camera's not okay, but she's okay. That's more important. We have good medicine for you. If you need some medicine, one of them can take good care of it. We're also joined by Secretaries Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Howard Lutnick, Ambassador, and really some incredible ambassadors, Administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Mehmet Oz, and the FDA Commissioner, Marty McCary. They're doing a phenomenal job. Thank you. Thank you, fellas. Good job. For decades, Americans have been forced to pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs by far, not just a little bit. We were like a whipping post, the United States, and it's just been 4% of the world's population. We have 4% of the world's population, and consumers pay only 13% of all prescription drugs, yet pharmaceutical companies make 75% of their profits. Think of that. So we have 4% of the population, 13% of prescription drugs, and yet the people behind me, who are wonderful people, make 75% of their profits from the American customer. So that was, they understood that better than anybody, that we have to do something. That's why I signed an executive order instructing my administration to do everything in its power to slash prescription drug prices for Americans while getting other countries to pay more. And we don't want more, we want just fair. We want to pay the same thing. They used to blame it, remember, on research and development. And I said, well, research and development for everybody. And everybody.
They're only charging Americans more because they perceive us as wealthy, and that's just not right. Oh, sorry.
And as a result, the United Kingdom's National Health Service agreed to pay the fair share for prescription drugs for the first time in 26 years. And we expect other countries in Europe will do the same. And if they don't, we're going to put tariffs on them and we'll get the same amount of money. Plus, we'll take a nice return on the money. We signed historic agreements with Pfizer, Eli Lilly, AstraZeneca, Novo Nordisk, and EMD, Serrano, to reduce prices by 300, 400, 500, 600, and even 700%, and sometimes even more than that. I remember when I had a news conference in my first term, I was the first president that reduced prices from the beginning of my term to a year, from January to December, 1/4 of 1%. And I thought it was the greatest thing because it's the first one in 28 years. Now we're talking about numbers that are so incredible. 1/4 of 1. Think of that. I was proud of it because it hadn't happened in 28 where drug prices went down. Well, now you're going to see numbers that nobody would believe possible. Think of that. 500, 600, 700, 800%. Today we're building on these accomplishments. The companies assembled in this room have agreed to offer all of their drugs to Medicaid and most favored nations pricing. You're going to get most favored nations pricing, meaning they're going to pay our country the lowest price paid anywhere in the world. And they will list their most popular drugs on TrumpRx.gov. TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name it that. Somebody named it that. And I guess they assumed that was, did you name it, Oz, or Bobby name it?
We all named it together.
Okay, well, I'm honored to have the name. And so far that's turned out because the numbers are so incredible. It's an honor.
I don't know if I like it, but whatever.
And you're going to get massive discounts to all consumers. So massive discounts will be not even offered. It's just going to be a fact. All consumers will get massive discounts. That's TrumpRx.gov. Every new drug produced by these companies in the future will permanently be offered to American patients at most favored nation prices. You know, people used to talk about that for years, but nobody ever did anything about it. No other president did. And it wasn't easy, but it worked out great. And I'm so proud of the people behind me. As an example of the price reductions we have secured through these new agreements, Santa Fe will cut the cost of its blood thinner, Plavix, from $750 to less than $16. Wow. Where's Santa Fe? Where are you? What? That's incredible, huh? Could have gone to $17. That's amazing. And you're going to do tremendous business. You're going to do much more business. So that's coming from $750. Think of that, $750. And that's the number one blood thinner. I don't want to know about that. I take an aspirin. To less than $16. Think of that. Bristol Myers Squibb, a great company, both great companies, will cut the price of HIV medication, Rayutaz, from nearly $1,500, $1,500 to $217. And it will cut the cost of hepatitis B medication, Baraclude, from $1,400 to $413. Gilead will cut the hepatitis C medication, Epclusa, from nearly $25,000 to less than $2,500. And oil prices are like that because we're bringing them down to the world's lowest price, everything. And these people really are pioneers. What they're doing is so great. And in the end, they're going to do much more business. And it's, I think it's going to even out for them as a company. The countries will have to pay more. But even for them, because of the fact that the world is quite a bit bigger, it won't be very severe, I hope. I also want to thank these companies and their incredible executives for their generous contribution to American national security, because it's really what it is. It's
I thought you guys would enjoy Trump since you didn't really care for Erika. I'm excited about these drug prices going down.
To a large extent national security. In addition, you can't continue to pay 13, 14 times more than other countries and think you're going to have security. Collectively, they will invest over $150 billion to build up domestic pharmaceutical manufacturing in America. They're going to be, because of tariffs, they're coming in. And I think because of the love of our country, maybe because of the November 5th election, but because of tariffs, they're going to be coming in. They're building already. Just about all of them have started. They're building their plants in all states all over the country, and they're building incredible pharmaceutical plants. We're going to have close to 100% of our pharmaceuticals in a very short period of time made in the USA. As part of these agreements, Merck will also donate 3.5 tons of antibacterials to be placed in America's strategic reserve. Thank you very much. GSX will donate over 200 pounds of ingredients to make rescue inhalers, which is a big deal, and Bristol Myers Squibb will donate 6.5 tons of blood thinners. We appreciate it. Such amazing companies. Every president for a generation has promised to reduce drug prices, but they were talking about a little bit like that. I am the only one of them to ever even think in terms of favored nations, and that's what this is. Favored nations. It's called most favored nation. We are now a most favored nation.
Yes.
I want to thank the leaders in the room, and I also want to thank the leaders of all of the countries that had to pay a little more so that we were treated fairly. I really do. I want to thank the leaders of countries. And they knew that the alternative was not much of an alternative, because if they didn't do it, we were going to charge them tariffs, and the tariffs would have been much more severe than what they did. But they did do it as soon as they realized about the tariffs. Then they did it very easily. Now they're very good people. Let's start with Amgen's executive vice president, who I already introduced, and I introduced the people here. So I'd like to ask Bobby and Oz to say a few words. And also I'd like to ask if anybody would like to speak on behalf of your company, or just say how great this country is doing. And you're all building tremendous facilities now in the United States instead of other countries that we all know about. But if you'd like to say something. So Oz, you want to start? And Bobby?
Let's start with Oz. I don't know why that cracks me up.
Mr. President, he gets taller with time here. Mr. President, each of the 9 CEOs will speak very briefly about what they have done, because it is a patriotic effort. This is affordability in action. We talk about it in abstract, but this is not an abstract concept. This is a very concrete, tangible, personal reality, because we've got moms with sick children who cannot afford their medications. Working families cannot make ends meet. Seniors on fixed income. We have 80 million people who have to pay more than $100 a month for their prescriptions. They just can't keep up.
Nope.
So this is a hardcore approach to this, driven by a bold leader who's taking bold action. With that bold action, we've now created a standard for the industry. The 9 leaders behind us run the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world. They're joining 5 other companies that have been through this White House process over the last 2 months. I want to make sure you appreciate that it doesn't happen with just the people in the room. They're wonderful individuals: Chris Klump, Inma Hernandez, John Brooks, Theo Merkel, Corey, Heidi. A lot of folks work their tails off to make this happen, and that's why we've gotten to the finish line. The prices that President Trump left to the next administration on pharmaceuticals have gone up 25% until the president took office. We are reversing that trend. and making sure that Americans can afford to get the life-saving solutions. Because if these brilliant innovators create solutions to cancer and hypertension, hepatitis, and a bunch of other viruses, illnesses that have been lethal throughout human history, but you can't afford them, then we're not treating you fairly. And that's why what the president has done is so critically important. He mentioned quickly the amount of money that they've contributed towards our strategic stockpile and to building in this country. But fundamentally, the health of the American people will benefit because this president took bold action. And from my personal position, I couldn't do anything I do without Secretary Kennedy, who just does not take no for an answer and will call me even more than the president does to make sure things happen right. Mr. Secretary.
Let's get it
Even
done.
That's not nice.
You see how I
think that's true. I think we got a lot of calls from the president, and at one point in this negotiation, we both stopped answering our phones late at night because we couldn't take it anymore. But I want to thank you, Mr. President, for doing this. President Trump, when he was up here a moment ago, talked about how historic this is and how every one of the news outlets in here ought to have World War III size headlines about this. And I was reminded.
Does he always talk like that? Or is it just tonight?
About how astonishing this achievement is. A couple of days ago, when one of my sons, 29 years old, very, very left-wing Democrat, and disagrees with a lot of the policies of this administration, he called me and he said, "Dad, I want to tell you how proud I am about this. This is the best achievement that could happen to our country." This is something Bernie Sanders has been clamoring for 25 years. Elizabeth Warren has been clamoring for. Joe Biden promised the American people. President Obama, President Clinton all promised to do this for the American people. All of them expressed their outrage, their indignation that we are paying 1/10 in some cases the price of drugs that they're selling in Europe. We developed them here. We manufactured some of them in New Jersey. We were paying $1,300 for a drug manufactured in New Jersey. The same drug manufactured in the same plant was being sold for $88 in London. And everybody recognized how unfair this was. We were paying for all the innovation in this country. And yet, the rest of the world was free riding on it. And President Trump told me and Dr. Oz at the beginning of this term, "This is what I want you to do." And he leaned on us. I think both of us were very skeptical at that point that it could be done. But I would say this is a miracle. And I'm very grateful to all the CEOs who saw the sense in this, who understood the injustice and the unsustainability of the system, and who put public health, and particularly the public health of Americans, ahead of some of their other priorities. And all of them came to the table, and President Trump asked us to do three things. One, to deliver the lowest prices in the world and make this affordable for Americans. Number two, to do it in a way that we would not hurt innovation, that we would keep America as the incubator. And
Reality Bites Back. This isn't the string for me to curse you out in. What the hell do I know about an ACA? Can you explain that before I get you up out of here?
A dominating force in innovation around the world. And three, to bring drug manufacturing home to this country. I can tell you by the end of this term, 95% of the drugs we will have MFN. In other words, Americans will be paying the lowest price in the world, 95% of the drugs. You talk about affordability. People are talking about affordability. Nobody has done anything for affordability greater than this. So I want to thank you, President Trump, for your leadership, for your vision, and for your relentless harassment of us to make sure this all got done. And I really want to just thank all of the CEOs, all these companies, for coming to the table in good faith, working out a very, very pragmatic agreement that allows them to continue to do the innovation that is going to save lives and alleviate suffering around the world, and do it in a way that is more fair to the American people. Thank you.
So we're gonna, I would first. So this is an example
of what President Trump does. It's the entire administration, the whole government working together. Bobby and I met at the beginning of the administration of how we could work together to bring drug prices down as the president instructed and bring manufacturing home. So they've said they're going to have 95% of the drugs be at the lowest price in the world. And when we walked in and the president walked in, we were making about 16% of our drugs were being made in America, right? And we are having hundreds, the people behind us are committed hundreds of billions of dollars to bring their manufacturing here and bring their research here. And that employs Americans and keeps our drugs produced safely. You want to know when you take that drug is made in America, overseen by the FDA, and it is safe. So the president not only is driving prices down, he's doing a 1-2 punch of bringing production here. And the third thing he's doing is when you take that drug, you know it was made in America, protected by Americans, and it's safe. And I can't be more proud. I think this is the most impressive thing I've ever seen because none of you, and maybe even none of us thought this was possible. Only President Trump, he knew it, he drove it, and he has delivered it here today. And I can't be more proud to be standing next to him because this is delivering for America.
He's delivering on his promises to the United States.
Alphabetical. If you'd like to say something, feel free to do that.
They're all going to say something short, so go ahead.
Good, would you go ahead?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President.
To the podium.
To the podium. Here we go. We're going to move it back up, get taller again. Mr. President, thank you for the opportunity to work with you to improve the affordability of medicines for American patients. Amgen recently launched Amgen Now, a direct-to-patient option for Repatha that cuts out PBM middlemen and significantly improves affordability for people who are uninsured, facing high out-of-pocket costs, or paying on their own. Repatha will also soon be added to TrumpRx.com. A US-based pioneer for more than 4 decades, we've invested more than $40 billion in US research and manufacturing since 2018, supported by pro-innovation policies that you've championed. Thank you again, Mr. President. We look forward to continuing to work together to deliver meaningful benefits and innovation for U.S. patients.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Jean-Michel Boers from Boehringer Ingelheim. It's a true honor to be here for an agreement that we believe will make a true difference for American patients. For 140 years, Boehringer Ingelheim, a family-owned company, has been committed to improving health and outcomes to save lives of patients. With today's agreement, we believe that we have actually struck the delicate balance that there is to protect America's leadership in research and innovation, and at the same time ensure that patients pay a fair price for their medicines. So from rare diseases in oncology or pulmonary fibrosis, where we do research into chronic diseases, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, obesity maybe in the future, I will go quick. We will continue to work for the American patients. We are onshoring manufacturing to the US to very rapidly, within the time of this administration, have the majority of our products produced in the US. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Oates.
Bristol Myers Squibb is an American company that for more than 6,500 years has been protecting and extending American lives. And today I'll make 2 very brief announcements. One, we are very proud to announce that we will provide Eliquis, our #1 prescribed medicine, to Medicaid for free.
Wow, Eliquis is expensive. I didn't know it was the most prescribed drug, though, is it? I guess.
We're also answering the administration's calls, as the president said, to shore up the national medicine reserves by donating more than 6.5 tons of Eliquis. These actions build on BMS's commitment to invest $40 billion in the U.S. in research and development and manufacturing. And these investments reflect our enduring commitment to work with the administration to improve patient lives. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, for shining a light on the importance of our innovation and getting all countries to pay for this innovation. I'm proud to represent
Joseph.
Genentech, America's first biotech company. We are offering our flu medicine, which is very important this year, given the severity of the flu, Xofluza, for $50 direct to patients. And that's a 70% price reduction. And that also will be available on TrumpRx. We're also very proud of our $50 billion investment in US manufacturing and new research labs. Our new facility in North Carolina will bring 11,000 jobs to America. These are important steps forward for Americans and also for patients. Thank you very much.
I saw your rendering is beautiful, what you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President, to you and the administration. I think this objective of achieving the commitment to affordability and future innovation is extraordinary. And let me just say that the company I represent, Gilead Sciences, the scientists reach for cures every day. In fact, they've come up with medicines that have cured both certain forms of hepatitis and also certain forms of blood cancer. And we just recently launched a new medicine that's only given twice a year to prevent HIV. And we're working with Secretary Kennedy and his entire team, as well as the State Department, as a part of your ex-US strategy to support ending the epidemic really during your term. And so we look forward to working with you on that. I've never been more optimistic about the innovation that exists across these companies and the impact this on America's health and economy. Thank you very much. Yeah, it literally prevents HIV almost 100% given twice a year. And so the America First State Department strategy, we've partnered with them, and we're also partnering with Secretary Kennedy and his team. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
GSK cares deeply about improving the affordability of medicines, which is why today we're announcing for the 40 million Americans who live with asthma or COPD, we're going to be significantly lowering the cost of the medicines they rely on to breathe more easily every day. We're going to be going direct on 8 of our core medicines with deep discounts, and we're investing in American health security by donating the ingredients that go into rescue inhalers like this one so that people can access them when they need them. This triple win is on top of our commitment to invest $30 billion in American manufacturing, American research, American technology, and American talent. And all of this to do the right thing for American patients, whether that's John in North Carolina, who says he can now visit with his granddaughters without worrying whether will have to struggle for breath, or Marsha in Kentucky, who says if her asthma inhaler is cheaper, she can properly celebrate with her family this holidays. Mr. President, thank you so much for your ambition for American patients and for the partnership of all of your teams so we get ahead of disease together.
Thank you very much. Very much. Great company.
Mr. President, as the others have said, I just want to say thank you for your leadership. I reflect on your goal of driving affordability and access to Americans, but equally getting prices up outside the United States, and we're 100% supportive of your actions. As many of the colleagues you talked about, I represent Merck, and we also are looking to what we can do on TrumpRx.gov. In addition to bringing in our diabetes drugs, one of the things I just wanted to highlight, we have a novel oral cardiovascular drug, which has an opportunity to meaningfully lower LDL and really still go after what is the leading cause of death in the United States, which is cardiovascular disease, kills 1 million people in the United States annually. And thanks to TrumpRx.com, you will not only be able to get this pill and have an easy-to-take pill, but it'll be easy to get and it'll be affordable. So I appreciate your leadership and look forward to continuing to partner with you. Thank you.
Great company. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, my name is Vas Narasimhan, CEO of Novartis. Novartis is a 250-year-old company, and today we're the global leader in bringing advanced technologies to patients in the United States around the world, technologies like radioligand therapies and cell and gene therapies. What I want to highlight to you is we're bringing the manufacturing of these technologies to the United States now. We've committed to build 9 new facilities. 7 of them we already have a groundbreaking for. Dr. Makari was with me in North Carolina. We were opening up 4 new plants. Our plan is to scale manufacturing here and ensure all our critical medicines, including these most advanced technologies, are made here in the United States for U.S. patients.
Thank you very much.
So first of all, thank you, Mr. President.
This is a lot.
I think you've convened on an extremely important subject and made more progress than perhaps anybody ever thought was frankly possible. For Sanofi, this is another day to reaffirm our commitment to patients.
Traveler Donald Trump has been following through, but what about the Biden administration?
Unwavering support to trying to do the right thing to help patients get better outcomes. But simply, affordability has been at the heart of that for a very long time. Having concluded this contract with the president and the administration, we find ourselves able, as a joint effort, to go further than we ever thought was possible. And that's kudos to you and for what you have done. Improving affordability and preserving innovation and rewarding innovation is a very difficult balance to take. I think we feel the negotiations and the conversations have had the patient at the center throughout the entire time, as difficult as it may have been on occasions. I think what many can learn from the way this was handled, put simply, is that when you bring industry and you bring government together with the spirit of doing the right thing for patients, it is almost limitless what can be achieved. So on behalf of Sanofi, I'd like to thank you, Mr. President, and the team for what has been simply an incredible amount of progress. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So, as I watch, these are the greatest business leaders, and they're beyond that. Many are doctors. They ended up running the biggest businesses in the country. But you've done so much, and you made it a lot easier than we thought it would be. You were just, you understood to do the right thing. And as I was watching, and I know all of them, not personally, a couple of them personally, but I know them all through reading lots of business magazines and other magazines and newspapers. These are highly respected people. And I said to myself, look at what they've done. They've done something that, and as you said, something that you never thought was possible to get done. Most people thought for the United States to have favored nations where we have the lowest drug price in the world is unthinkable. And I said to myself, we have a thing called the Unaffordable Care Act. It's unaffordable because the insurance companies make so much money, and the insurance companies totally control the Democrats. And I said to myself, standing watching these great leaders, and we have 4 other leaders coming in, Johnson & Johnson, and 4 other very big companies, actually, very great companies. They've all agreed, and they'll be coming in next week, and we appreciate them too. But they've agreed to the same thing, lowest price anywhere in the world. I said, I think that the insurance companies, we should have a meeting and we should talk to them. Because I would say that maybe with one talk, they would be willing to cut their prices by 50, 60, or 70%. They've made a fortune. They've had stock prices that have gone up 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and even 18. Think of this. They went up 1,800%. One of them went up numbers that nobody's ever seen before. There's a nice return, not a 2%, an 1,800% return. One went up more than that. Therefore, there's a lot of fat that can be cut. And I'd like to announce here, this is just an idea that I had standing here, watching these great leaders saying that we're going to have the lowest prices anywhere in the world, something that nobody would have thought possible. And they're going to come out great. But also donating incredible different medications, medications that are world-famous medications that...
I see you guys' comments. Thanks for the cash apps. Thank you. I'll get to your questions after, okay?
One or another of them make, and donating them in some cases for free or very, very low prices. And I said, I'll bet you if I called a meeting of the insurance companies, the companies that are involved with healthcare costs, I would be willing to bet, I think, that they would reduce their prices very, very substantially. We could have fair healthcare in the country. Now, my initial thought, and this is what I want to do as of right now, this is the alternative, is that all of the billions and billions, ultimately trillions and trillions of dollars that's paid to these companies, we're going to pay directly to the people. But there's another way of doing it, and that's getting the insurance companies to ease up and to cut their pricing way, way down and stay part of the system. So I'm going to call a meeting. It could be in Florida this coming week, or it could be back in the White House the first week, not the second or third week. I'm going to call a meeting of the big insurance companies that have gotten so rich by receiving money and really much far more money than they're entitled to. And I have a feeling maybe if they would act like these incredible, brilliant, responsible citizens behind me, people that love our country and they love the world. I mean, frankly, these are international companies for the most part. I'm going to call a meeting of the insurance companies. I'm going to see if they get their price down, to put it very bluntly. And I think that is a very big statement. And what happened here is the biggest statement of all, because nobody thought a thing like this was possible. And I think based on that, I won't even take questions today, because there's no way I can take questions that are anywhere comparable to what you just witnessed. You just witnessed drug prices that will go down at levels never thought even possible, Marty, right? Never thought even possible. And I think that the second biggest part of this meeting is going to be the fact that I'm going to call in the insurance companies that are making so much money and they have to make less, a lot less. And maybe we can have reasonable health care without having to cut them out and let it all go awry. So we're going to be calling a meeting. It'll be either in Florida or it'll be here the first week. And I'd prefer not talking and asking questions, only for the reason that this is such a big announcement, meaning what these people have said and what the other four companies are going to say, which is exactly the same thing. That I really don't want to soil it up by asking questions, even questions that are very fair questions that I'd love to answer. So I think we have to just stop right here. I really appreciate the fact that these companies came here. These, again, a lot of the media is not aware, not really cognizant of the people standing behind me. These are the biggest executives in the world. And what they're doing today is monumental. And I want to stand it on that. And I'll see you later if you'd like. But I don't want to be asking questions having to do with anything else. I do want you to remember what I said about the 4.5%. We took 100% of the new workers was in the private sector. And we've cut tremendous numbers of government jobs. And that's why, if you look at our numbers, they're so good. Also, more than, I don't know if you've read this, came out a week ago, more than 50% of our trade deficit was cut. We cut it more than 50% in a period of a few months. Nobody thought any of these things were possible. Thank you very much, everybody.
That was a tough. That was a tough stream, you guys. You guys are pretty rough in my chat, and I can only get rid of so many comments. But listen, wait, let me find you guys first. Hold on. All right, you guys. Wait, I'm frozen. There we go. That was pretty rough. Yeah. Let me read the last of your comments. What's good, Rob? Stop orange. Oh, wait. I can't remember. Didn't I time you out? Let me go ahead and get you up out of here. I thought there's too much comment to me. I can't. I always thought that Kamala Harris only she was very stupid vice president. Oh, mercy. Oh, God. Don't put stuff like that in the chat. All right, you guys. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I'll see y'all a bit later. There was a lot. That was a lot. That was pretty loaded. Instead of detesting looking at young girl. Okay. You're beautiful. Oh, thank you, Signet. I appreciate you. I can only get rid of some of you guys' comments. So I played a video with Erika Kirk in the beginning. She's going through a lot with Turning Point USA. I'm definitely following the trial with Tyler Robinson. That trial is just heavy, loaded. There's a lot of things that's going on there. And, Donald Trump lowering the cost of prescription medications, he passed an executive order for marijuana to go from a Schedule 1 drug to a Schedule 3 drug, which will make it legal for doctors to prescribe it. Stop with my animal. We all know Trump is a felon. You're welcome. Oh, okay. Reality Bites, you said a lot. But I'm still waiting for your comment about the ACA that you mentioned to me. I don't know what you're talking about. And I understand that some of you don't like Donald Trump. I'm not here to push the Republican Party on any of you, but regardless of who is in president, it doesn't mean that we can't celebrate successes within the United States. We all want, well, hopefully, a lot of us want protected borders. We don't want men playing in our women's sports. There's a lot of things that this country was starting to kind of let slip. And so we definitely have to tighten things up. And that's why Donald Trump won the popular vote and the electoral vote, because the American people are tired. What's good, Leroy? Am I high? I'm not high. That's mean. Are there any Trump supporters in my chat? Or do I have been, or am I just fighting with the left tonight? I don't want to fight with you guys. We should be able to sit in the same seat, have intelligent conversations. But with you guys throwing names at me, that's not an intelligent conversation. Okay, Joseph. So that's just what it is. Oh, God. I love Trump. Okay, hey, beautiful. Oh, why am I reading that one? Trump, USA. There's a lot. Trump. Okay. You voted for this behavior when you voted for Trump. I don't know what behavior. I never said who I voted for, Traveler. I never said who I voted for. Now, it could be obvious. How's California? California's nice. Newsom is messing up the state of California. Hey, Melissa, right back at you. Governor Newsom is messing up the state of California. I hope that he does not run for presidency in 2028. I'm really looking forward to JD Vance running for presidency, and I think that will be good. All right. Stupid coconut. That's not nice. So there's a lot. I'm surprised as a woman of color you feel that way. Can you tell me which part? I wonder why more people of color don't feel that way. I'm not voting for a party that fought to enslave me, and that would be the Democratic Party. That would be the Democratic Party. We can have that conversation in a day if you guys like. But why wouldn't I vote for... that's right, Joseph. Color means nothing. Color means nothing. And I find it interesting that people bring up color, but if you're talking to them in person, the first thing they say is, I don't see color. Everybody sees color. It's obvious. But just because you are a person of color does not mean that you have to vote for a particular party, in particular the Democratic Party, who has gotten a black vote election after election and has never delivered on anything that they have promised. Now, I have not been I'm not going to say my political party. It doesn't matter my political party. But I just find it interesting that people will continuously vote the same way with the same results. Now, a lot of you don't like Charlie Kirk. A lot of you, I'm sorry for leaving your comment up there. A lot of you don't like Charlie Kirk. A lot of you don't like, and I didn't like everything that was said, but he didn't deserve to be assassinated that way. But what I do like is that they reach out to young voters, college level people. I didn't even realize they were talking in high schools, but they are the future. And some people don't understand the Republican Party, and they relate the Republican Party to racism. And I find it interesting that people will relate the Republican Party to racism and not the Democratic Party to racism, when the Republican Party is the one that fought for our civil rights. But I'm not here to preach to you. Hey, Irby, they're beating me up in the chat. I don't know. Rest in peace. Right. Did I miss any of your questions? I'm black and my father is Polish. I'm black. Oh, darn it. I can't keep up. I'm black and white. My father's Polish. My mom is black. I have the best of both worlds. I love it. I love it. I don't care what color you guys are. If you respect me, I respect you back. I have friends that are all colors, all nationalities. I really don't care. Okay? I don't really have any friends that are liberals. So if any of you are liberals in the chat, can y'all let me know? Goodbye. No love lost for Charlie. Why not reality bites? Nobody deserves to be assassinated for the way that they speak, and all you guys did was make him a martyr. Not you guys, but you made him a martyr. Now, Candace and these conspiracies, I don't really know about all of that. I find it sad that Erika has to mourn her husband in public, although she's a public figure. That's what comes with it. I think she's doing an excellent job, but for those that say they don't like Erika, what did she do to you guys besides lose her husband and speak about it publicly? And now she's the CEO of Turning Point USA. Okay, I'm trying to keep up. Irby, we were hanging out in that other chat. Didn't we have fun? Now, Galaxies, if you're in my chat, I'm going to try to do a smaller stream for you guys later. If I don't get to you later, I will get to you tomorrow because we need our small group so I can chill with you guys. Whew. Did you care when Obamacare doubled people's premiums? The first year it was, oh, that's not for me. I was about to say that I think I've spoken about Obamacare, the Unaffordable Care Act. I do not go for that is not what I wanted. That is not anything that's ever helped me, and it's very expensive for a lot of people. The Obamacare is very problematic. I'm gonna leave that alone right there. Jim Crow laws. Erika refused to condemn the right as they condemned the left. Condemn the right in what way? Can't take you seriously, lady. Lawrence, but in what way? Because you haven't really said how. So I can't really speak about that when I don't even know what can't you take seriously. You will certainly grow, babe. You acknowledge us. Babe. Oh, goodness. I could see her hairline from space. Hat under no control. So it's one thing to disagree with someone, but it's another to say why. Trump hates Mexicans. Dolores, that's not true. That's not true. I don't throw wrenches out like that. But Rob, I got you. Be cool. In my opinion, Candace is doing too much. Irby, Candace is doing too much. And the sad thing is she was friends. She claimed to be friends with Charlie Kirk. And now she's coming after his wife, asking for his wife to say where they buried the body. I wouldn't tell a bunch of trolls where I buried my husband's body. I find that very unreasonable. Everybody mourns differently. People are saying she's not mourning right. But if she comes out here just crying, then you guys are going to say she's doing too much. I feel that Erika Kirk is doing the best that she can. She has to raise these babies. Is it true that she's pregnant or is that AI? See, I can't stand AI because you don't know what's real or not anymore. But I think that Erika is doing the best that she can. This is going to be a hard holiday without her loved one. I don't wish that on anybody. I know people are going to talk about my looks, so I don't care. Yeah, I know I don't get dressed up. I don't care about that stuff. All Americans love Trump because they can't stop talking about him. Eric, you said that earlier. Please don't spam a chat. She ain't pregnant. Okay, she's not pregnant. I seen it, but again, with AI, you never know if it's true or not. Erika said in an interview, oh, okay, Nicole, thank you. Let me take you out, Chofu. Erika said in an interview that after Charlie passed, she wished she was pregnant. Yeah. Okay, you guys, I can't get to all of your comments because it's going too fast, but CO made a bag. Who CO? Who are you talking about? She's making money. She's a public speaker. Should she not make money? She has kids she has to take care of. They're paying her for interviews, but they're making money off of her. I'm not against people making money. I think that a lot of people are against wealthy folks, and that's problematic. I don't think there's anything wrong. I don't feel she'd rather have her husband any day. But if she's going to speak somewhere, they're making money off of her appearance. So why shouldn't she make money for speaking? I'm not upset at her for that. Candace Owens. Oh, I can't stand Candace Owens. Good night, the tour. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. I agree. This is how I dress, Dr. Manhattan. You know, one of my favorite bands and stuff like this is just how I dress. You know, I live in a desert and I'm not dressing up for anybody. Okay. Maybe one day you'll get dressed up in you, but it won't be anytime soon. She's making money for the movement. Nicole, okay. She's making money for the movement and company that was her husband's life work. Is that supposed to be good or bad? I'm not sure where you're going with that. That's true. I'm so boring. Well, you know. What do you want me to do? Innocent talking about they don't wish people, man. Why you just sound angry? You sound angry. Nutbag, it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just that there's a lot of comments that's flying by. So don't feel ignored. Okay. Can I send you a Cash App to log out? You can send me a Cash App. My Cash App is right under there. Doesn't mean I'm going to do what you're asking for. Rob, chill. What's wrong? What's wrong with you? Chill, fool. She won't talk about the files. We're not talking about the Epstein files now. If you guys were so pressed on the Epstein files, why didn't you push it during the Biden administration? Seems to me as if you guys are using it to deflect, using it because you want to whatever. He's already in office, so I'm not sure what you're asking for. Why are we talking about the Epstein files? That had nothing to do with what I was talking about tonight. If you want to talk about the Epstein files, hit the link and talk about the Epstein files. I'm not going to do it from the chat. Funny you're not seeing any of them. Okay, let me read your comment. Trump also said violence on the right is okay, but left is crazy. Nutbag, I have not heard him say that at all. I haven't heard Donald Trump say that violence was okay. So I have to, thank you, Eric. I have to call you out on that one. He's not going to say violence on the right is okay and not for the left. That's absolutely insane. I think we'd all have heard about that. AI is annoying. It's so annoying. Matt, I got caught up in people raising orphan was for a couple of days. Wasn't real. I know. It's so annoying. And even with influencers, it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. You guys got to be careful. You guys could be asking a bot out, thinking that that's your girlfriend or something, or vice versa. Trump 2028, we need him. Wouldn't that be something? He's getting up there in age. I'm looking forward to JD Vance in 2028. I do think we'll be in trouble if we do not win. But let's see what happens with the midterm. Right now, Republicans have control over Congress, you know, and we're majority in all offices. But that could change during the midterm elections, you guys. So go out and vote. Go out and vote. Do your part. That doesn't go off of, oh, wait a minute. Expose them. Only the presidential campaign goes off of the electoral vote. All of the other ones go out off of the popular vote. So it is important to vote. It's dry as hell. Rob, what do you want me to do? What you want me to do? Y'all want me to jump in circles and do cartwheels? What you want me to do? You missed me because it's boring without me over here? Okay. I did miss you. JD Vance would be the nominee, but I did not realize. I didn't even think about this. Somebody put in my chat. You guys are awesome. Most of you, some of you troll me a lot, and I have to look past your comments because I can't block you. I don't block most of the time. Listen, I didn't realize that Donald Trump could run for vice president. Is that a way to keep him longer? Imagine JD Vance and then vice president. JD Vance is president. Donald Trump is vice president. Donald Trump has had the biggest political comeback in history. Just when we thought he was done, he comes back and wins, you know, the last election. That's absolutely insane. But Harris didn't run a good campaign either, to be fair. All right, you guys, I have been here past my hour. Thank you guys for hanging out. Mods, thank you for modding. I appreciate you. Thank you guys that got memberships. JD Vance, ooh, let me get this comment out of here. I can't keep up. Let me get that out of here so you don't mess up my algorithm. I can't find it now. Tag on it. Why do y'all put crazy stuff in my chat? I can't, oh, here it is. Let me get you up out of here. There we go. JD Vance would be the nominee. Oh, I read that one. I gave 3 examples. You haven't heard one of it too, and move on. Nutbag. Now she's leaving, always running. Oh my goodness. Nutbag, I don't know what you're talking about. I thought we could, I thought we were getting along. I don't know what you're talking about. I did mention, let me use my phone. Let me use my phone for your comment. I don't know what you are talking about, Nutbag. I mean, you could have always hit the link. But for you guys to sit in the chat, you can see me, I can't see you. So I don't know what to tell you. You could have hit the chat and had a conversation. Mr. Rockstar, thank you. I quoted the president for you. Come on. And I responded to it, Nutbag. I read your comment. So you're just writing stuff just to argue with me. I just spoke about your comment. And I just said, I don't see that he said that because he's not going to say that violence is okay for anybody unless we're protecting our borders. Okay? Good night, Jerome. So I did answer your question a while back. A while back. No, you said he didn't say it. So then you heard me respond, Nutbag. You just said I ignored you. If I said that he didn't say it, that means that I didn't ignore you. Okay, Nutbag, I will look for it. I haven't heard every news article or every Donald Trump speech. A lot of things Donald Trump says for shock value. Obviously, violence is not okay for anyone. And I don't agree with everything that people said. So if Donald Trump said that, I absolutely don't agree. Violence is not okay for the right and it's not okay for the left. Won't acknowledge my comment even though I have a law degree. What does your law degree have to do with me, XXO? What does your law degree have to do with me? I'm glad that you're educated. But there's a lot of comments that's flying by and I don't know. Trump brought Merry Christmas back to America. Slide. You guys, if you celebrate, happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you guys. So now it was just rage bait from Trump. I think you're trying to rage bait me because I said what I said about it. I have not heard everything that the president has said, and I do not agree 100% with anybody that's in office. So I can speak for myself. Violence isn't okay for either side. It seems to me, though, a lot of people that's criticizing Donald Trump and the things that he says has the nerve to talk about that it was okay for Charlie Kirk to be unalive. You guys talk about the Luigi Mangione as if he is a hero, but then you want to pick apart the words that Donald Trump says. I think that we all need to look at what we say, okay? Because some people you give a pass to if you like them, and the other people you want to condemn. That's what I'm going to say about that. If you're going to be angry on all sides because you guys were not, weren't you guys just going in on Erika Kirk after losing her husband? Did you guys talk about that violence? Oh, thank you, Frosted Cupcake. I appreciate you. Ain't no pass. When did Luigi become president? I'm talking about speech. I didn't say that he became president, obviously. When did I ever say he became president? You got to keep up with the conversation. None of us are perfect. Mr. Rockstar, none of us are perfect. None of us. So, don't put curse words on my chat. Fred, that's a figure of speech. Free Puffy. You know, Puffy is right where he belongs. Puffy is right where he belongs. Thank you, Frosted Cupcake. Oh. The president also blamed Rob Reiner for his own death after complaining about Kirk comments. I found that distasteful. Donald Trump spoke about Rob Reiner, that comment he said when Donald Trump lost his part of his ear because he was almost assassinated. Thankfully, he was not. Rob Reiner allegedly said that too bad they missed. So does it make it right to retaliate? No, it does not make it right. I'm going to leave it like that. Trump will pardon Puffy. Trump said he will not pardon Puffy. All right, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye. Frosted, come back and we'll talk about it. Bye.